22, man, that just happened. They had to have seen that. They had to have connected to it. And just like, I mean, is it weird today or what? You're starting to see all these things come about. And you say, but I'm beginning to see what's happening. I'm beginning to see the things that are going on. And that gives me a deeper faith that God is real and the Bible is true. And these Pharisees, Sadducees, doctors of law, all these guys, in spite of the evidence, reject Jesus. Man, what a wild thing. But Jesus was going to go to their pride issue. Now, let me be honest. We all have pride issues, don't we? We don't need to let our pride separate us from Jesus Christ, but you see that happening, especially here. So Jesus begins with the parable. Now, back to Mark 12, verse 1. It says, and he began to speak to them in parables. A man planted a vineyard and put a fence around it and dug a pit for the winepress and built a tower and leased it to tenants and went into another country. When the season came, he sent a servant to the tenants to get from them some of the fruit of the vineyard. And they took him and beat him and sent him empty-handed, or sent him away empty-handed. Again, he sent to them another servant, and they struck him on the head and treated him shamefully. And he sent another, and they killed. And so with many others, some they beat, some they killed. He had still one other, a beloved son. Finally, he sent him to them, saying, they will respect my son. But those tenants said to one another, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and the inheritance will be ours. And they took him and killed him and threw him out of the vineyard. What will the owner of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy the tenants and give the vineyard to others. Have you not read the scripture? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Or this was the Lord's doing, and it's a question mark. I can't read it right with the right inflection. Verse number 12. And they were seeking to arrest him, but feared the people, for they perceived that he had told the parable against them, so they left him and went away. They perceived well. Yeah, he told it against them. And yeah, he's making a point to it. Who is the owner or the man who planted the vineyard? Oh, that would be God. God the Father. And he sends God the Son after all the prophets have been killed. And you say, wait a second, when you talk about the prophets have been killed, what was it that Jesus said in Matthew 23? Listen to Matthew 23, verse 37. Listen to this. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often would I have gathered your children together as hen gathers her brood under her wings? You were not willing. Oh, they recognize it immediately that they are the vineyard and that they have been attacking the people that come. How were most of the prophets in the Old Testament treated? The answer is poorly. You think, what a prestigious job. I can be a prophet. I can be so amazing. And everything's going to go well. I'll have my own magazine. And that's what you would think, being a prophet of God in the Old Testament. And the Jews they would just take care of you. And you're the best thing ever. Ask that to Jeremiah. See, how did that prophet thing work out for you? Ask that to Jonah. How did that prophet thing work? You had to go do stuff that, but I would say what's funny with him is the people that weren't his people appreciated him. God's prophets are most of the time not appreciated people. Sometimes pastors, not appreciated person. It can be one of the tougher things, having to contend with all the things that happen. And let me say this. If you take a stand for God, not necessarily in the role of prophet, but by saying Jesus is right and pointing people to the Bible, pointing people to God,